All right, that was George Strait right there. What'd you think? It's not bad.
It sounded like one of his classic songs. It's really good.
That was George Strait with his new Cold Beer Conversation song and new CD. It's not a bad CD. You knew who has a bad CD. His new is Alabama.
Really?
Yeah, they came out with a new CD, and I didn't like it too much. It wasn't very good.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it stinks. Alabama. Well, you know what's funny about Alabama is they had to like rebrand themselves because they're classic mountain music with the Confederate flag behind them. And so when this new CD came out, they had to completely rebrand. Because
don't get me started on all that, please.
No, but when I think of Alabama, that was like their staple is the Confederate flag. Like it even has it on their album. One of their albums.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Their album Mountain Music is the backdrop is a Confederate flag, and so
Dukes of Hazzard forever ruined.
Yeah, well, that's just so funny, and that stinks for them because they couldn't back it up with a good CD. Yeah, so it's even worse. But we're hanging out in the studio with Cody Spence of All-Star Catering. You're listening to Mornings with Lone Star. We're going to be here until about 9 o'clock with Cody playing music. So if you have a song request or anything, right now I have loaded up all the new stuff from like Pat Green. I got Randy Rogers Band's new stuff, Whiskey Myers, Zane Williams, Uncle Lucius, all new stuff. I have that loaded, but if you want to hear something specific, let me know. 936.
I might want to hear something.
No, not you. 936-647-3776. And also on Twitter and Facebook if you can't call in, which I completely understand. Just look up Lone Star Internet Radio, and we'll help you out as much as we can. Cody, we're talking about weddings. And weddings is something that's interesting to me because I've never been married. I've been to several weddings. I've been to several different kinds of weddings. I've been to one wedding where there wasn't even alcohol served, and that was one of the most interesting weddings I've ever been to because they had dancing, and they wondered why nobody was dancing.
Was it half Baptist?
I have no idea what affiliation or religion it was, but it was interesting because everyone there was over the age of 35, 40, and the only younger people were the people like me in the wedding, And that was the only young people. We didn't have – none of our friends were there. It was all church members. It was really interesting.
That is interesting. From what I find, the most common weddings that don't have alcohol are just really, really strict Baptist weddings.
Yeah.
And
what sucked the most is they had a live band, like a rock and roll live band. And I was like, man, this would be so much fun. So I snuck in alcohol. But
trust me, it's the most common thing to do when there's no alcohol at a wedding. You can see everybody like just kind of leaning down on their table like they're scratching their ankle. Like, yeah, we know what you're doing.
But no, the other weddings I enjoyed, like I've been to your wedding, which was beautiful.
Thank you.
No, see, when I was sitting there the whole time, this is what I was thinking the whole time. I go, this guy, I don't know, he's getting married, loves his wife, I get that. But I feel like he's putting on the perfect wedding for a reason. And because you know weddings, like you know the ins and outs of weddings, and it felt real. Like everything felt really organized. Food was delicious, and there wasn't one sad face. And I think that's really important when it comes to wedding. You don't want anyone just like crying in the corner or whatnot because they didn't get their food or something like that. But
no, there was one.
There was
crying. Yeah, but that's it's a long story, and it was closer to the end of the night, and it was an open bar.
Oh yeah.
So she Yeah.
Let's not say any more about that.
We'll stop it there.
Sorry, Felicia. No, I have no idea. But wedding season is here, and you keep up with what's hot in weddings, what food's good, and especially what trends. What do you think right now is the most interesting trend that's coming up? Or do you have a list? I think you have a list, right?
I actually do have a list. I brought in a list today. I actually came prepared for once in my life.
Oh, jeez. Here we go. What's this list? What's the title?
My mom's listening.
Is it a top 25 kind of list?
No, it's the top 10 food and beverage wedding trends of 2015.
So how do these trends get set? How? Is it just somebody makes it up, or they?
No clue.
No clue. Let's just go with it. Okay, let's start from the bottom, I guess.
I'll tell you how they get set. All-Star Catering. We set the
There you
trends.
go. We stressed.
Dang, I wish I'd have been quicker on that one. All right, so we'll break this thing down throughout the rest of the show, and I'll go ahead and start with the 10, 9, and 8. Number 10 is going to be family-style dining. It kind of disappeared for a while. And
now you're talking about that, man, I just went blank, that little spin deal in the middle of the table?
That's a Lazy Susan.
Lazy Susie, is that what you're talking about, family style?
Minus the Lazy Susan, yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's just like when you eat at home with your family around the dining room table, and it's just a bunch of big bowls of stuff.
Yeah.
And unless there's like a package deal where it's unlimited food, and if you do that, you're going to pay more than the food is worth tenfold. Like for us, we just have people they have to buy extra food, and some people don't understand that. So it's very difficult to do properly at a wedding. Number 9 would be biscuits.
Now, you mean just any type of biscuit? Or like English biscuits?
Incorporating biscuits into the food for the wedding. Well, yeah, I know. Actually, biscuits are, a comfort food, a southern food, have always been very, very popular. And it's pretty natural that it would take a place on this list, especially...
I knew a person who would eat biscuits with jelly no matter what meal it was.
Duh.
Like any meal. And it was just like, and even if the biscuit wasn't meant to have jelly on it, like, I just put, like, you guys gonna have jelly here? Like, you'd ask that at the restaurants. And I'm like, man, I don't know if that's the purpose of this role. Well, I want to put some jelly on my stuff. I was like, okay.
We're at Perry's Steakhouse. They don't have jelly. What's wrong with you?
That's what I'm saying. We're at a place like that. So biscuits completely understand.
Yeah, and doing sales.
And plus you can take it home with you.
Oh.
Just throw them in the
dude, trust me. But doing the sales for All-Star, me and my wife do a lot of that along with Don Bello.
What, selling biscuits?
Just selling in general.
Okay. I thought we got some good biscuits.
And we have something on the menu that's biscuits and sliced ham, and you can customize like the toppings. You do like a honey. Like honey is very, very popular. Or jelly. We had some person do honey mustard. And it's been ordered more this year than I can remember the last 5 or 6 years combined.
And I feel like that would be the man or the male person calling
Actually,
that
you'd be
out.
surprised.
Really?
A lot of times it's the future wife.
Okay.
Number 8 would be custom drinks made with bitters.
Oh, yeah. I went to this place called Wooster's in Houston.
Uh-huh.
Fancy place.
Very.
And I never been there, and the girl who I'm seeing goes, hey, we're going to meet our friends and watch the Cubs game there. And we get there, and I'm like...
Sorry, what?
Watch the Cubs game. They're from Chicago. The friends are from Chicago. And we get there, I was like, this isn't a place you watch a Cubs game. And they have all their bitters. They make all their syrups. And I was sitting there looking at all these drinks they make. Take about 10 minutes to make your drink. And all I wanted was a beer. And I made the worst mistake of this nice guy coming up, and everyone's trying to get a drink. I was like, hey, you can go before me, man. Go ahead. He orders like 4 mixed drinks. And they take their time with these drinks. It's like an art with these bartenders.
Yeah, it's mixology.
And all I wanted was a beer. And I was like, man, what? I even told him, I was like, why'd I let you go in front of me, man? All I wanted was that beer right there. Like, I could just give it right there.
Just do what the guy does on, what is it, Knocked Up? Where he just reaches over, grabs the beer, and throws the 20. Thank you for your service.
So mixed drinks with bitters.
Mm-hmm.
Now, with weddings, does that kind of include the whole open bar concept? Like,
Hold on. Let's see if she gives me a ticket.
No, you're good. She's just scanning to see if you're a United States citizen or not. I'm just kidding. That's how they...
They make me nervous.
Everyone feels like they're in trouble if an officer talks to them.
Is that even an officer?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I don't know if she can make an arrest, so I take that back. I don't know.
Hey,
we want to go. Let's go get her after the break.
She heard that. She's coming here to get you.
Well, we need to know. If you don't know, folks, we're in downtown Conroe, right here on Main Street, and the lady who does the parking is checking Cody's car.
That is a tough job, and God bless
It's pretty
her.
entertaining out here, actually, because a lot of people don't know all diagonal parking is checked, is timed.
Oh, yeah,
and
for
then
sure.
anything in the parking lot isn't. So when people come to go to court and they're late, boom, they park right in front of the studio, run inside of court. They're in there for 4 hours. They get a ticket. They come out, and like one guy almost fell to his knees. He's like cursing.
Dang it, I got to go back.
Yeah, okay, let's get back to this bitter thing. That's pretty interesting. It also sounds really expensive to me, because that's one thing I realized is when I got these ladies their drinks, I got my bill back, and I'm like, for 4 drinks, this is how much it costs. So this is at that Wooster's place. I'm telling you, folks, Wooster's, if you're trying to impress a lady, that's the place to go.
And don't do it on a first date, please.
Yeah, not worth it.
No, there's Starbucks and ice cream.
There. Yeah, that's great. So tell me about the bitters thing. Is that an expensive addition to the wedding?
It's...
Because it's delicious drinks. Like,
oh, no, they're incredible. I mean, I bartended for 8 years, and incredible drinks.
These dudes wore aprons.
Oh yeah, for
These
sure.
bartenders, they wore aprons.
Mixologists.
Yeah,
I mean that's what I would consider them more than just a bartender.
Or watching a baseball game at this place.
You're watching the Cubs. Hara here. Come on.
Okay, that sounds like a lot of fun though.
No, it is, but if you do it right, it can be fun and a good time and a memorable thing. If you don't, it can bottleneck and cause a lot of people to get irritated.
Like me.
Because of the length of time, exactly. A lot of people that are at the wedding, half of them are beer drinkers. They don't want to deal with that crap. So if you have a specialty station with just that and then a full other bar somewhere else, it's a different story. That would work. That would be efficient. That would be memorable.
Yeah, like I said, all I wanted was a beer. I don't care how it comes out. That's all I wanted. But we're going to take a quick break again. 936-647-3776. Hanging out with Cody Spence, taking song requests. Coming up right here, this is Corey Morrow with his new stuff. This song's called Old With You. We're on Twitter and Facebook. Lone Star Internet Radio. Let us know what you think. We'll be right back.